What's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Most importantly, please make sure that you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. And with the introduction out of the way, let's get into today's news. And today we have to head on over to Portland because this weekend during the No Kings protest, that was a protest against the military parade that was happening this weekend to honor the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army. During these No Kings protests that were happening across the country, obviously, as to be expected, in blue states and blue cities, they turned violent, they turned into riots. People are tearing stuff up, breaking things, graffiti everywhere. But I want to focus specifically on Portland because in Portland, the DNC lunatics that have been tearing things up over there, there's a specific ICE building that, I kid you not, they have been terrorizing the people in those ICE buildings, the federal agents in those ICE buildings, literally for days. Literally for days, they've been occupying and terrorizing this building here. And I want you to look at what occurred this weekend. Look at this headline: 4 officers injured as violent Portland rioters breach ICE building with explosives and rocks. Can we take a moment to commend these ICE agents and federal agents overall that have had to engage with these lunatics, commend them on their trigger discipline, right? Something that these writers really don't deserve, especially when you're reading headlines like this, because when you're breaching federal buildings to the point to where you're hurting the officers inside, literally injuring them, do you really deserve trigger discipline at that point? I don't think that you do. So these guys are being very gracious and very courteous with how they're treating these rioters. But nonetheless, in Portland, they breached a federal building and started to assault and injure officers inside. Let's get into this article here very quickly. A violent mob of protesters breached a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement facility in Portland, Oregon on Saturday night, injuring 4 federal officers, according to authorities. Rioters in black clothing launched fireworks and created a makeshift battering ram, breaking a glass door and breaching the facility, Oregon Live reported. Around 6:30 p.m., cops declared the gathering near the ICE building an unlawful assembly and warned protesters to disperse. Now, here's the issue with that, right? They always do this. They'll declare the situation an unlawful assembly and everybody disperses. But then some time passes. When I say time, I don't mean days. I mean, maybe an hour or so. And then the unlawful assembly is lifted. It's dismissed now. So now it's okay for these lunatics to come back and continue to terrorize this ICE building. Let's get into some of what happened over there right now. Things got so hectic that the ICE officers actually started to pull out guns. Forget the little paintballs and the little pellets that they've been using against rioters and all that type of stuff, little beanbag guns and whatnot, and mace. No, they started to actually draw their weapons, as they should, because they were literally under attack. So let me get into this clip here very quickly. Let me pull this up for you right now and look at this here. We're going to go through a few clips right now of what went down this weekend at this ICE facility in Portland.
What the fuck? Dude. That's a fucking, is that not a gun?
Yeah, that's a metal gun. That's a pistol. So it's like a 9mm.
Now, what I find hilarious about all this, when you watch this clip here that I just played for you, is look at how shocked the people recording were. Whoa, dude, what the F? Is that a real pistol? What's going on? Well, yes, it's a real pistol. Yeah, it's a real firearm. What's going on? You guys breached the facility. You're injuring officers inside and receiving a level of discipline that you really don't deserve coming from these officers. Because once again, you've breached a federal facility and you started hurting people. Why are you surprised? Why are you shocked that they actually pulled out real guns to defend themselves? Not paintballs, not pellet guns, not beanbag guns, but real guns. This goes to show the entitlement that DNC lunatics have in these blue states and blue cities, where they feel that they can do whatever they want, create havoc, create destruction, destroy everything in sight. And if any type of law and order is imposed on them, now you're wrong as far as local officials are concerned and federal officials are concerned, as it pertains to implementing the law to maintain law and order. All of a sudden, they become the victims. The terrorizers become the victims instantly, because you can't hold the terrorizers accountable for anything at all whatsoever. I want to show you another clip of when the ICE agents came out to essentially, hold down the fort and protect themselves, just from a different angle. Look at this clip over here. That is completely absurd. Completely absurd and ludicrous. What I want to do next is that I want to take a moment to pivot over to this individual's Twitter page right here. I don't recall what his name is off the top of my head, but let me take a moment to pull this up next, right? So here this guy goes. Check him out right here. His name is David Medina. I believe that's how you say his last name, David Medina. And he lives out there in Portland and has done a really good job chronicling all of this on X, putting these videos up of what's going on over there. And this was him essentially undercover. He was undercover lunatic, just filming what was happening there in real time as they were terrorizing this ICE facility at night. So I want to play this clip for you next as well. And the post that he puts here reads, on the front lines in Portland, I feel like I'm saving Private Commie or something. That's funny. Let's get into this clip next.
Hey, a big bless you to this guy, please. Bless you, bless you. Thank you. If you want to pass tonight, I'm going to make you some bread.
Hey, you guys inside, are you guys planning something special?
We're just standing here. Do your job.
What are you going to do?
You're not getting home at a good hour.
There's nothing you can do.
Dinner's gonna be cold.
I'm here all day and all fucking night.
Listen to the hypocrisy of all this, right? Because spray paint on these buildings and everywhere, they're talking about these people are the Gestapo, they're fascists and all this stuff like that. But if they were who they say that they were, right? If these ICE agents, these federal agents were the Gestapo, right? They were fascists, they were tyrants, you wouldn't be standing out there in front of that building. There's actually a handful of federal agents that are behind that fencing right here, this entranceway. If they were the Gestapo, and look at how they just trashed the place. They just trash everywhere. They just destroyed it. The people. If they were in fact the Gestapo, what these federal agents would do was that they would open up that gate and they would splatter you guys all over the place. That's if that was true. What you're saying is true, but it's not true. You literally have these lunatics standing outside, essentially holding these guys hostage, saying, "What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do." Okay, so they're not the Gestapo then. Looks like we have freedom of speech here. Looks like we have a democracy here, and you're mad that your side lost. And because your side lost, Kamala Harris lost in a bloodbath. She got destroyed and annihilated in the red wave of an election in 2024. You can't take it. So instead of organizing to hopefully get your candidate to win, I'm not going to say hopefully, but because I don't want any DNC lunatic to win an election, but instead of organizing I guess in the hopes for your side to win, you instead choose to trash your own cities, trash your own neighborhoods, go to federal buildings, trash the federal buildings, and taunt them into reacting in a way that I guess you'd see fit that would create martyrs to essentially grow your lost cause, right? But there wouldn't be any martyrs. You would just end up losing your life for no reason. But just notice the grave differences between the two parties, and who supports who. When you're talking about conservatives, MAGA, so on and so forth, we were told through mainstream media press that the people and the lunatics that we see out there right now, we were told that they were MAGA. But when they lost the election, they have continuously showed and proved themselves over and over again to be the tyrants that they were pretending to warn us against. Look at how they react. Look at how they react. Truly unbelievable. Well, I got to stop saying that once again. It's very believable. I'm going to play this last clip in closing. It's about 3 minutes. I'm probably just going to let it play for the most part. I'm not going to talk through it too much because I really just want you to see, unfortunately, how much power these lunatics actually have over this ICE facility and over the city that allows them to terrorize federal agents, right? Because this is really going to look and sound like something out of a movie. I've said this numerous times, how these, the videos that we play, they look like something out of The Purge or whatever. This building you're going to see is surrounded by a bunch of black masked individuals, and they're just walking around the building sounding just creepy, sounding really creepy. Come outside, come play. They're knocking on the bing, 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 knocking on stuff. It's the equivalent of like when you'd watch a kind of a horror movie or a thriller or suspense movie, and someone knocks on the door, dum, 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 and they look in the peephole and they give you the camera view of the peephole. And you see really close is like these lunatics that are looking in the peephole like this. That's how this situation is that I'm getting ready to play next. So let me pull this up for you guys next, and then we're going to head out of here.
Yeah, the door's broke.
Birthday, here's the present.
My middle finger.
I said get better nerds, not baby nerds, assholes. Is that seriously still the best you can do? People say fuck with some little firework at us last night. You think we didn't notice? What's with you?
Hey! We see you! That didn't come from over here. If you didn't already know that, you're not smart enough to be up there.
Nuremberg has a seat for you.
Go back to college.
Yeah, go back to college. Probably Florida.
If not, it doesn't matter. You support that.
Hey, if you really want it, you should have died in Israel, you stupid bitch.
You lying?
Just following orders does not work.
Listen to how psychotic these people sound. Completely psychotic and demented. Standing outside of a federal building, pretending that they're oppressed, pretending that they're fighting against fascism, pretending that they're fighting against the Gestapo and Nazis. You heard they said, what did they say? Nuremberg has a special seat for you, if I remember correctly, if I know my history correctly. I'm sure you guys will correct me in the comment section. The Nuremberg trials, that was post-World War II, correct? Where, Nazis were brought up on trial and so on and so forth for their crimes during World War II. So they're, equating, excuse me, these federal ICE agents to them. Saying that Nuremberg has a special place for you. Once again, if these federal agents were actually acting like the Nazis that you're pretending that they are, none of you would be outside right now. You would all be rounded up and literally disappeared. What you keep saying that they're doing to illegal immigrants, which is what they're not doing, they're being deported back to their home country, and we're sending you home. You crossed the border illegally, we're just going to take you home. We're paying for your flight to go home. And if you'd like to take your family with you, you can do that as well. We'll take everybody and we'll pay for them to go home with you. That's what ICE agents are doing. But if they were making people disappear the way that you said they are, you wouldn't be man enough to stand outside of that building right now. And that's just the foolishness of it all and the hypocrisy of it all. So we're going to end this here, man. Thank you guys for joining me today. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. And also, do not forget to follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below and pinned in the comment section as well. Thank you all for your time. And to the next video, peace and have a great afternoon.